everyone, welcome back. So today I'm doing something a little different. I mean, it's still a family home, but my last build I did like a seafood restaurant instead of like I did a community lot. So this build today is actually for the family that I created to playtest the restaurant. And for that family, I had it as a father and a daughter, but I didn't want them to live in the same house because I wanted the daughter to like have an infant so I could like play test things, and I wanted her to have her own like home. Um, so that's kind of where I went with this build. So on the left side is going to be the home for the father. The father is an adult and the daughter was a young adult. You could play however you want in this house. You can have it a father or son, a mother, daughter. I mean, anything you want to do. It doesn't even have to be family related. That's just where I went with this build because that's who I created to play test. But yeah, so the left side is going to be for the father and the right side is going to be like the daughter's home. So what I did was when I played it, I locked the doors like for the father's home just for him and then the daughter's home just for her. This way they didn't walk into each other's house and use their own things. You know, they can only access their own houses. So that's just kind of how I played it. That way, like it's the same lot, but it's two separate houses and they won't, go into each other's. But actually in my game, because I wanted to have the daughter have a baby, an infant, so that I could play test the restaurant, because in the restaurant I made like little play areas for like the kids and the infants, to see if like they'll put the infants in the area and then like go eat dinner or whatever. I actually had my sim in this build marry that Kyleson, the one from the new Growing Together pack that everybody seems to be obsessed with. He he actually didn't come over. Like, yeah, I didn't get the pop up, but I used one of my mods. Like, I forget what mod it was, but it has that dating app. Um, and I had her go on, and he was one of the first ins that popped up. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. And then yeah, they ended up getting like together. They were boyfriend, girlfriend, and then she ended up, getting pregnant, and I had the baby with him. And they're engaged now. But yeah, I don't know. I like him. I like Kyle. I think he's pretty good looking for a sim. I know everybody's kind of obsessed with him, and I've seen people call him a dreamboat. But yeah, I think The Sims did pretty well with that. But when I first played, like my very very first house that I played a little while ago with this new Growing Together pack, I did actually get the pop up for him, but that was the one and only time I ever got it, and I told him no, don't come over because I had a big family and I was just trying to do my own thing. But it was weird after that. I never got another pop up, so I don't know if it's the game, if it's me, but yeah, no, I don't really get. Maybe you only get it once if you've already played with the pack. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Let me know. But yeah. Anyway, so these houses are play tested. Everything works. Um, like I said, I created the family. I actually created the family first. Then I did the restaurant. I play tested it, and then I built these houses. So yeah, I kind of had the family before all the builds. But yeah, it's play tested. It works. Everything's good to go. And like I said, I just locked the doors on each houses for each person or each sim so that only they would go in their own houses. But as you see in the middle here, I just talked over it. I did like this like patio area in between the two houses because I figured like that was like a nice shared space. So, they could go out and they can like just hang out on the patio, sit in front of the fire pit, or barbecue, or I even put a hot tub back there because I had enough space. So I figured that was like a cute little community area between the houses, and it kind of like filled up the space, and it was just something they could all share and all hang out together in. And then I did a pool and like a little play area, so when like the baby grows up and they're a toddler or a child, they have like a little play area. I used one of the new like water like emitters that came with the new pack. I used that over there, as you could see, with like the little splash pad and the slide that came with the pack if you pre-ordered it. So I just wanted to make the middle like a community spot for the family. Like they could all kind of get together and just hang out, but then they can both go into their own houses and just kind of do their own thing in their own houses. So that's kind of where I was going with this. So it's a little bit different. I mean, it's still a family home-ish, but it's technically two family homes on one lot. But I figured this was kind of nice too because it gives you plenty of space. So if you do kind of want a big family, you can kind of adjust the houses to your needs. Um, because in the daughter's house, it's a one bedroom, so it's shared. So I have like an adult bedroom in there. It's up against the wall, but obviously the Sims can kind of scoot, so two Sims can use it. But then on the other side, there's like a crib and stuff for the infant, and then you can convert it into a toddler bed. But obviously, as the child gets older, and if you have more than one child, you're going to run out of space in that house. So in this house right now, I'm creating the father's house. There's actually two rooms upstairs. One's the bedroom, and then one I made kind of like an office space um, for the father, and it has like a little radio and stuff in it, as you'll see. So I was thinking if you do end up having more than one kid in your build, if you use this, you could always convert his office into another bedroom and maybe have like the toddler or the child stay over with the grandfather and kind of move them into this household. And then, they can have another baby or another infant in the daughter's household. So I figured you can kind of expand the family with this house if you really needed to. And you could kind of use both houses that way. So, I mean, you do have some space, but if you end up having a really, really big family, I wouldn't recommend using this build because there's not that much space in each house. And as you can see right now, I'm working on the father's house. It's small. It's not a very big thing, but it works for a single sim. And like I said, if you end up moving one of the kids, if you have more than one in here, it'll work. But other than that, I don't think it's going to work very well. It'd be very tight. Um, but yeah, in this build, I use the counters from uh, the the farm. Oh, why am I drawing a blank? But I used those counters because it gave it more like a rustic feel. Once I think of the name of the pack, I will say it. But I am drawing a blank right now. Um, but yeah, I was going with like a blue theme, so I ended up changing the wallpaper. I had the wallpaper blue, but then I really wanted to use these cabinets because they had that like deep navy blue, and I really, really like this color. And I was thinking they live kind of on the water, as you can see in the background. It's like at the bay or whatever behind them. And for the father, my idea was he's a fisherman. He's like, they own a seafood restaurant. He's very into like sailing and fishing and the sea, and maybe before he retired or before he had a kid, that's what he did as a job. Maybe he was one of those fishermen, like the ones that go out and like it's their career or not. Or I don't know, he was I don't know, a pirate. But I figured like the father is very into like I said, the sea and the ocean and like fishing, and just that's where I was going with it. So that's why I did a very blue theme in his house. And I just love this navy blue color, so I just kind of stuck with it. As you'll see later on when I did the living room, I had a little bit more in there with this color. But I thought it was really nice, and I thought it was nice and masculine, and I don't know, I just thought it fit really well. But yeah, the kitchen's small, but it's all functional, and it's big enough, like I said, for one or two Sims. So you should be fine. And then later on, you'll see I ended up adding a little dog bed and a food bowl because I figured if the Sim really is living alone, I wanted them to kind of have like a little pet or something maybe. So there is space for a small pet in here. But yeah, now we're just moving into like the living space, and I had very, very limited space in this house. It was very tight over here, and I cut a lot out because I was trying to do a bigger living room in here with like a sofa and everything, but it just wasn't fitting. The kitchen just took up a lot of space, and I just didn't have the room. And for my build, like I said, personally, this was for a single sim. Um, so I didn't think he really needed much furniture, so I just gave him one of these cute chairs. Cottage Living, that is the pack. So I gave him one of these cute little armchairs from Cottage Living. I love that chair, and I figured it kind of fits that like old-timey, like kind of like a grandpa style. But I just love that armchair. I think it's just really nicely done, and it just fits, the kind of cottagey theme I was going with. So I used that, and then I used this really cool blue rug, and then I changed the TV stand to the same navy color, so the rug and the TV stand tied in with the blue with the kitchen. So yeah, I was just really trying to tie that navy blue in, and I think it turned out really nice. And then over here, I just had this little corner. I didn't know what to stick over here, so I stuck one of the new bookcases that came with the Growing Together pack. And then I just did some clutter underneath, some of the new clutter, like the puzzles and stuff. And then I did add a little keepsake box because I know that elder sims. I know this sim in my build right now is an adult, but when he becomes an elder, they can designate the keepsake box to their child. So I thought that was a cute thing to add. So if you do add an elder sim in here instead, they could give their kid the keepsake box and maybe put like the stuff from the grandchildren in there or something. I just thought that was like a really cute thing, and I really like that touch that the Sims added to it, and they kind of gave elders a little bit more gameplay. So I think that's kind of fun, and I'm later down the road, I'm gonna put a build up here for I redid the community center like completely. It's totally different. It's got everything your Sims will need in it. So I can't wait to play with like old elder sims in there too, and just kind of like I feel like the games table was like a really nice touch for them. They can kind of do that, or like the walking trails have like make groups of like elders and have them go on a walking trail. So I am holding out on hope that maybe down the road we will get like an elder based pack, or even a kit. It's just something for elders, like specifically just for elders. But with the growing together, I think they gave us some things that kind of made their gameplay a little bit more fun. But yeah, anyway, I just did the entryway over there. I just added like the new little table stand from the pack, and a little coat rack, and just some clutter on top. It's just like an entryway, so I didn't like make it too much. And then when I added this from the cats and dogs, a little leash holder, I wanted to add that on the wall, and then I thought, all right, well, I'll add a pet in here too, because if this is a single sim, I wanted to give them a little, pet in here. So I added that, and that's when I added the little bed in the food dish for the pet. So I figured I didn't add anything for cats, so I figured the sim would have a dog. So I didn't add any of the cat stands or anything like that. But if you did want to do a cat instead of a dog, you could probably fit one of those small cat scratchers or like climbers right behind the couch, like right behind that chair in the living room, because I figured you'll probably have plenty of space. So you can always add stuff for a cat in here, and then maybe throw the litter box in the bathroom, or you could throw the litter box, outside, right in the patio area, so it's still kind of covered maybe. So yeah, you could do a cat if you want. If you don't want to do a dog in here, I just figured the sim had a dog, because I used a lot of pictures from the cats and dogs pack, and I did a lot of the ones with the dogs in the pictures, so that's just kind of where I was going. And if you could tell, I'm kind of a dog person. I have a cat and a dog personally, and I love both of them, but I am definitely a dog person. I'm allergic to cats, so I don't think I'll ever get another one. I do love all animals, but like I said, I'm allergic, so it's a little bit more difficult living with a cat than a dog. So I tend to kind of throw dogs in my Sims builds more than cats, because I just gravitate towards them. But I love all animals. I think cats are adorable. I love my cat. But yeah, I think he's gonna be my last one, unless there's a cat desperate that needs a home. Of course, I would love to rescue if need be, but I don't think I'd put myself through that again with another cat, because, man, my allergies are bad. And I've had him for about 8 years. So if anybody has any suggestions on how to get your allergies under control without going to a doctor, I mean, I take allergy pills, but man, even after 8 years, I'm still bad. So maybe I'll just never get over it. But anyway, let me just get off my rambling tangent. I just did the downstairs bathroom. It just has a toilet and a sink, and then I just did some cute little storage from the high school pack. But yeah, now we're moving on to the upstairs. It is a 2-bathroom house, so technically, I guess you could also maybe take this bathroom and convert it into a bedroom if you really want to, if you don't need a bathroom upstairs. Or you could take the bathroom downstairs and convert that one to a bedroom, although it's a lot smaller. But there are options. So if you do have a bigger family in here, you could always convert one of these rooms maybe into another bedroom if you need it. The only issue is the door might be an issue, because it kind of leads into the other. It kind of leads the bedroom leads into the bathroom. So I don't know if you really want to go through one bedroom to get to another, but that's up to you. But there are options in this build, so if you do have a bigger family and you need more space, there are ways you can kind of tweak this build to your needs and how you want to do it. But I just made it for a single sim, so I just did, an ensuite bathroom, and then I did the main bedroom for the father, and then the office. But like I said, you can convert whatever you want in here. Here I am working on the bedroom. I cut a lot out too here, because I couldn't figure out how to get the furniture. I was trying to rearrange the furniture so that your Sims were able to still walk through the room and get to the bathroom with that door. And I didn't want to block any doors, so I was gonna use the wardrobe from the new pack, that standing wardrobe. I think it's really pretty and I really like it. But I also really want to use these trunks, and I believe they're from the werewolves pack. But I absolutely love using those, and I love putting them at the end of the bed, especially for a sim that I think maybe like travels or, just has that kind of like background. I love using those trunks. And then I thought, well, that is a like closet like to the Sims. The Sims can use that to change their clothes. So you don't really need another dresser in here. So I ended up deleting the other stand-up dresser because there was just too much in this room and it was going to block the doors. Um, so yeah, I just didn't use that. But like I said, the trunks are usable as a dresser, so you could just use those. And then yeah, I just did one of the bed is from the new pack, from the new Growing Together pack, and I really like the bed. I think I love the swatches on it. I love the colors. I just think it fits really nice in here. I really like that like backboard with that like bamboo wood. I don't know. I just really like how it looks and everything. And then the new stand-up mirror just kind of matches like the colors and the rugs. Like all the colors just really tie together. And then I use these curtains from Cats and Dogs, which I really liked because they looked a little older, a little bit more. I don't want to keep using the word used, but a little bit more like he's had them over time, and they've just kind of been like the same curtains that maybe were passed down. So they kind of make maybe a little more rustic, I guess I could say. But I wanted to use the red swatch, and I wanted to use the red swatch on the rug and the trunks. So I ended up changing the wallpaper in there to like this just plain white wallpaper, just because the blue wallpaper from the Parenthood pack just was like clashing. So I did move that wallpaper into this room. As you see right now, I have the fish on there, but I changed it to like that wave pattern right here. And I just thought that was really pretty, and I love that wallpaper from the Parenthood pack. And I just love how it had like the little waves on it. I was going to use the fish, but then I thought that's kind of like childish. But these waves kind of just tie into like the sea theme, and like how I was going, like the sim really loves being by the water and in the sea and fishing, and I don't know, I just think that wallpaper kind of fit the theme really well, and I think it's really cute. And this one's a little bit, it looks a little childish maybe, but it's not like too bad with the white on the bottom, so I thought it was okay. But yeah, this is just a small office. I just had a little desk in here, and the turntable style, the record table, for The Sims, because I figure The Sims older, so they like to play their records. So I thought that was really cute in here, and I just added like the vintage looking computer from Cottage Living that looks like a typewriter, because I thought that just fit this Sim better too in this build. But yeah, it's just a small room, just a little office, and then I'll add a little dog bed in here. In the background, you can see I have like a ladder leading up into the hallway. I really wanted to do some sort of rooftop like thing on top of this build for the sim, because like I said, I really wanted to make them like a fisherman, and like they're into fishing and the sea and all that. And I did not add a pond to this build, and I know you can't add a pond on top of like a building, but I was trying to like do some sort of debug like fishing looking type of thing, and it just, my idea in my head was great. The idea trying to do it in the game was horrible. It just did not work. I could not get the roof to look how I wanted it to. What I was trying to use just was glitching and not working, so I scrapped the idea. I got rid of the ladder. There is no rooftop anything on this house. Like, the roof is plain. You could always add the ladder back. You could do some sort of rooftop gardening, or like a telescope, or like a seating area. Like, the roof is flat, so you could always add something back in if you wanted to. I guess you could also add the ladder back in and maybe expand this build and make it a 3-story house, and then you could add more bedrooms that way. That's actually not a bad idea. So, like, you'll see I end up deleting the ladder, and I just add like a little, the new table from the Growing Together pack, like the play table where they could play like puzzles and stuff on that. End up adding that to the hallway, but you could delete that, put the ladder back in, and then maybe make this like a 3-story house and add your extra bedrooms upstairs if your Sims end up having more kids or grandkids or whatever the case is. But yeah, I just scrapped the idea because it just wasn't working for me, and I just couldn't get it to look the way I wanted it to. But yeah, I'm just decorating the hallway now. I didn't do anything too crazy. I added a couple of the picture frames that came with the new pack that you can kind of like take pictures of your Sims and then add them on there. I added that to the one side, and then I remembered we got the little fishing rod decor here and the little thing, so I added that to this side of the wall instead of more picture frames because I thought that was cute. And like I said, that's kind of the theme I was going with for this sim, so I kind of thought it fit perfectly on that wall as like a decoration item. And then I just clutter the hallway up a little bit. I use this table again. This one's from Cats and Dogs. And I just love this table so much, and it just adds to that like rustic theme. It's got a couple little scratches in there, and it just looks like kind of maybe like made like the sim kind of made this table themselves. That's kind of what I'm getting from this table. Like that's the vibe I'm getting. So I don't know, I just love using that when I'm trying to go for more of a rustic theme in my builds. I just think that table works really well. But yeah, I just did that. I cluttered up a little bit with some of the new statues from the pack. And then I had just like a bunch of book clutter on the floor because maybe this sim is kind of a little academic and likes to read. And, they are very worldly. So maybe they read about the world and like, they like to study different things. So that's why I added the book clutter because I thought that was really cute. And I liked it in a little suitcase, which kind of went with like the trunks that are at the end of the bed. I kind of think that tied in there a little bit. So yeah, I was just trying to kind of like tie things in together. And then I'm just gonna add some rugs, and then like I said, I delete this ladder here, and I just stick one of those tables in here. Because I figured maybe the sim is like I said, if the sim that lives in the other house is their daughter, and they end up having grandkids, they could invite the grandkids over. They could sit and play at this table. They could play some games, or they could do puzzles together. So I thought it was like a really cute thing for like a grandparent sim, because obviously that's kind of where I was going with this build, is like this is the grandfather. So yeah, I thought this was like a really cute idea. So the grandkids can come over, or if you move the kids into this household, then they could just play like games together and stuff. And then I just use one of those chalkboards that have like the chalk marks on it that kind of look like a scoreboard. I think that's really cute. So maybe they keep score. But yeah, now we're moving on to the other house, which is for the daughter. And like I said, originally I was a single sim, but then my sim, like I said, got married and stuff and had the baby. So two sims can live in here with an infant. Because the bed, like I said, your sims can scooch and get into the bed, so you shouldn't have any issues. But other than that, you might need to expand on some of the builds to fit more sims. But yeah, I just had to expand the back of it a little bit because I wanted to make the bedroom big enough to fit two adult sims and an infant. So I just made the build a little bit bigger. But this is the bathroom. The bathroom's very simple. I used the new shower and the new sink and the new mirror from the new pack. I absolutely love, love, love that shower. I think it's so pretty, and it's so clean, and the colors just match so well. And I used this sage green color in this build. Like you'll see, I used it in the bathroom on the wall, and then I used the new wooden slats, like the siding on the inside of this build on part of the wall, in that nice sage green color. And then I just tied all the other furniture into that because green is my favorite color. So I definitely went heavily on the green, and I just love that pretty, like like I said, sagey green color is just so pretty, and with the browns, it just matched really well, and it was just made this build like nice and warm and cozy, because it's such a small house that I wanted it to feel just like lived in and cozy and just comfortable. So I figured like with a little bit of stone on the wall like I did there as like an accent wall, and then the wooden slats, the siding, just made it feel very like, I don't know, just warm and like cozy and lived in. And because I didn't add a fireplace, so I was just trying to get the vibe without adding a fireplace in here because I couldn't fit one. But I just figured with all the wood tones and everything, it just fit really nicely. And then, like I said, I used the new bed again from the new pack. And then here is just going to be like the little area for the infant. I added a crib. I believe this crib is the one that can convert into a toddler bed. I could be mistaken. I might have used the wrong crib, but I think I used that one. This way, if your Sims do end up having an infant and then they don't have a kitty right away and it turns to a toddler, you could just convert this into a toddler bed and just stick it in the same spot the crib is in. Like, it won't take up any more space. So I thought that was really nice. And then I just added a cute little rocking chair next to it. So, your Sims can sit on the rocking chair and like read to the baby or like feed the baby, because I know they could sit and like bottle feed. So I just thought that was a really cute thing, and I had a little bit of space, so it was just kind of like a spot where the parents can sit with the infant and maybe rock them to sleep or whatever. But yeah, I thought it was really cute, and like I did a lot of the furniture again, I made it in that nice sagey green color to match the walls because it's just so pretty, and it had the brown tone like on the wooden bars and on the bottom of the rocking chair, and it matched the flooring I used in this build perfectly. So just the green and the wood just kind of all like tied together, and then I used that rug from the new pack again, and I have to say I think in almost all the builds so far I've used just that mountain like theme one with just like the mountain peaks. I think I've used that one like multiple times. I love that swatch. I think it's so cute. I love the mountains on it, and it just like that color matches with so many different colors in the game. So I just tend to gravitate towards that swatch on the rug, but I'm gonna have to try to start using other swatches because they're all so cute. And then I used the new lamp from, I think the lamp is actually base game, but I think it came with the update and it has a little fox on it. Unless it's been in the game for longer than I knew. Like, I don't remember ever seeing that lamp before, but I just love the little fox on it. I think it's so cute, so I wanted to add that in here, and it kind of went, like, this build was giving me kind of like a woodsy type feel, like, too, like a warm woodland kind of with the greens and the browns, so I thought it matched really well. And then I'm just using the new curtains from the pack. I wasn't sure if I was going to put a curtain on, like, a curtain on each side of every window because I felt like that was so many curtains and it just looked so like just claustrophobic. But when I did one curtain on each side, it looked weird to me. It didn't look right, and I shrunk the curtains down with the tool mod by the crib, so they were a little bit smaller, so it didn't look too bad. But this is CC free. It's unmodded. I use the tool mod, but that doesn't affect the build at all. So when you download this, you'll have no issue. I just shrunk it for this reason because I figured all the curtains just looked too much, so I wanted them to be a little bit smaller. But yeah, we're just moving on to the kitchen, and it's a very small kitchen. Like I said, it's a kitchen, a dining room, and a living room all in this one little space. I managed to get a good sized dining room like this one from the new pack. And I got chairs around all four sides. I even added a high chair for the infant and the they grow into a toddler. So there's plenty of space. It all fits. It's all functional. I play tested this. Everything works. Your Sims can sit at the table. They can sit at the couch. Like nothing will gets in the way of each other. The kitchen's fully functional. So for such a small space, I was actually surprised I got so much furniture in here. But I changed the cabinets. As you can see, the bottom. I'm gonna end up changing the top too. To that dark, rich brown color, because I wanted to use it with this new table from the Growing Together pack had that sagey green on it, and the chairs matched, but it had that really dark brown tone, and I was like, oh. But then I realized the counters from the I forgot the name of it again already. But the counters, I use the same ones as in the father's house from the I keep wanting to say Country Kitchen, but I don't have that kit, so I know it's not that one, and I just keep forgetting the name of the pack. But I used the same counters, and they ended up having that really dark, rich brown tone on them, and I was like, perfect. So I switched it to that instead of the green counters because it kind of balanced out the dining room table with that brown tone in it. And then I used the new couch here from the new Growing Together pack, which had that same brown, like that rich brown tone, and then the back of it had this beautiful green, like, throw blanket that tied in with the gray. I mean, it's a little bit of a darker green, but I think it kind of all just kind of ties in together and just looks really pretty. So I was really happy that I was able to use those counters, and they had the same wooden tone because it just worked out really well. But yeah, here I'm just doing the living room. I was going to add an extra chair in there, but it felt like there was too much furniture at that point. It was too cluttered. So I figured a couch was enough, especially if there's only really two Sims living in here. You don't need that much furniture, and they can sit on the couch, they can sit at the table and watch TV. So you don't really need that many chairs. But I definitely wanted them to have a table in the living room, so I added one from the Tiny Living pack. I tend to gravitate towards this table when I don't have a lot of space. It's nice and small. And I really like it. I tried to use the one from the high school pack, but the swatches just weren't matching, so I gave up on that one. But yeah, it's just a couch and a little table, and then I used the fuzzy rug, which I think came with the it's the pack that you get the butlers in. I can't think of the name of that one either. Yeah, I can't think of it. My brain is just not working right now. But it's like another fuzzy rug that you get in there, but it's a little bit more like it looks a little bit more like neat and a little bit more sophisticated and not like I don't know. The other ones look a little bit more like fluffy. I don't know how I'm explaining it right, but I just felt like that one fit better and it had that nice like tan tone that kind of tied in with the bed. Um so I want and the walls. It kind of matched like the tan tone in the walls. So I used that under the couch instead of a big rug because I just thought it fit a lot better and it looked pretty. And then I just added a table here against this wall. I really wanted to use those suitcases there that are like shelves storage because I haven't used those in my builds at all yet. But I just couldn't. It just didn't work right. You'll end up seeing in a little bit. I ended up deleting them and just putting one of the picture frames from the new pack where you can add your pictures to it. It just looks weird. It didn't look like it fit in the build, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't work in this house. I'm going to have to try it in another build. I probably could have tried putting it in the father's house, but it just seems so big. And then when I tried to use the tool mod to size it down, it leaves a weird shadow on the wall, so you can't really size it. So because I couldn't size it down, I just gave up and I just ended up getting rid of it. But down the road, I'm going to have to try to use it in one of my builds because I really do like it. It's just, I don't know, it just is a little awkward with the size of it. But here I'm just cluttering up the kitchen. Um, I left one counter there next to the stove, so your Sims have plenty of counter space to like prep food or whatever. And for some reason, my Sim liked to use the counters that were outside in the little patio area too to prep. So there's plenty of counter space for your Sims to use. So I wanted to clutter up these counters to make it more like lived in, and they kind of just like are throwing like all their clutter on the counter, like the mugs and the snack boxes and all that kind of fun stuff. And I gave them a coffee pot because with an infant, if they can't get enough sleep, they're definitely going to be drinking a lot of coffee. And then I just put the little cookie jar on the dining room table because I thought that was really cute. It didn't really need to be on the counter. Like your Sims can just grab cookies from the dining room table. I just like using that clutter in here because I think it's a little bit like family friendly and it's cookie jar. But yeah, and then I use the same rug that I use in a lot of my builds too with that pretty little like leaf pattern on it. I love that rug. I think it's so pretty and the green just matched perfectly. So I tend to gravitate towards that rug too. As you can tell, I gravitated towards a lot of the same stuff I use in all my builds. But I definitely wanted to use all the new stuff like the new fridge and the new stove and the new like stove range on top, like the blower. I definitely wanted to use all the new stuff in this build because I figured since this is with the growing together and it's in the world of San Sequoia and all that, I definitely wanted to get as much of the new stuff in here as possible. And then I'm just cluttering up this little table out here. I used one of the plants from the Blooming Rooms kit. I absolutely love that plant. I think it's so cute with the little animal faces on it. I ended up using the little hedgehog because that matched the brown tones. And then there's like a little play mat in the living room, as you could see. I definitely wanted to add one of those because if you have an infant in here, you want to do like the tummy time and stuff to teach your infant like to get their milestones. So that is functional. The Sims can get to it. And then here I'm just cluttering the outside of the doorway for like the little entryway. I end up adding. Oh, here's when I delete the this little suitcase thing and add a picture frame. It looked better. And I just didn't like the way the other one looked, but I will try to use that suitcase shelving in one of my builds. But yeah, I'm just like I said, I was cluttering the outside here and I just wanted to make this entryway a little bit more lived in, a little bit more fun. And because I added gardening area and like a chicken coop and stuff outside this house, I figured the Sim is very into plants. So I just added like a little plant area over there on that side, and then I just had this like cute little rocking chair out here because I figured maybe the Sim can bring their infant out here and they could sit on the front porch and they could rock the infant to sleep while they watch the chickens or the plants grow. I don't know. I just thought it was like a cute little thing for like a family type house. Just had like a little rocking chair out here. But yeah, I'm just going to end up adding some lighting to this, to the houses to brighten them up when it's nighttime. I end up adding these cute little flower lights. I believe they're from the Perfect Patio pack, whatever it's called. But I just thought they were really cute, and they kind of went with the gardening theme I was going with for this Sim on that side, like the daughter. And I was glad I got to use them. But yeah, this is it for the build. So if you guys like it, please like and subscribe. I really, really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye!
you recall when we were young, running from all things at once, without thinking twice? And I knew it would catch up, and that we would be the ones left behind. The stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. And this road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time.